be a how-to on how we do Dirty Dining. Today's Wednesday, so every Wednesday night at 11 o'clock you can catch Dirty Dining on Channel 13. But so often people ask us, how do you pick the restaurants that you feature on Dirty Dining? Well, there isn't a whole lot of picking and choosing that we do. In fact, it really all boils down to pretty much a simple math equation. So walk through it with me and I'll show you exactly how a restaurant ends up on Dirty Dining. For starters, every week we correspond with the health district. We put in what's called a public records request, which any one of you can do at any given time. You ask for the records the health district produces on the different restaurants they inspected. So for example, we will ask them for a list, and this is exactly what we get, a list of all the different restaurants that they have inspected and downgraded for the previous week. So they sent us like a spreadsheet like this, and you can see it lists the name, the location of the restaurant, the address, and then over here, it's going to tell you how many demerits the restaurant got and what kind of a grade they got. So we will look at this list, and sometimes there are page after page after page of downgraded restaurants. Other times, there aren't very many that the health district has inspected. But we go through this whole thing. We figure out which restaurant has the highest number of demerits. Start to finish. That's it. It's a math problem. The highest number of demerits equals the restaurant that's going to appear on Dirty Dining. We also look for imminent health hazard closures, and that's what you're seeing with some of these highlighted restaurants here. This one was one we had on last week, and you can see here they were closed with only 17 demerits, but they were closed, and so we'll find out what that imminent health hazard was, and we'll tell you about that too. So once we've singled out what restaurant has the actual highest number of demerits, for example, a 39 demerit C grade, we're going to go over to that restaurant after we get this. Paper number 2, document number 2, friends. This is a food establishment inspection. This is the actual inspection report that is generated by the health inspectors when they go out. And I'm so familiar with this now, I sort of feel like I could, be a health inspector in my other life. But all the different violations are broken down into critical violations in this top section, major violations in the next section, and then it goes on from there into what's called good management practices to prevent unsanitary conditions. There's all kinds of notes that the health inspectors put on here, and we literally read through every single thing on the health report, everything the inspector found, if there was any corrective action taken. And then if you can see right here, it tells you about demerits. 0 to 10 equals an A, 11 to 20 gets you a B, 21 to 40 gets you a C, and dun dun dun, 41 or more demerits means closure or imminent health hazard requiring closure. So that's kind of how the demerits are broken down by the health inspectors, and again, that's something that we look at. Right up here, imminent health hazards. This little box right here tells you all the different things that the health district considers an imminent health hazard that will get a restaurant shut down even if it doesn't have a ton of demerits. So from anything from interruption of electrical service to no hot water, which you see us talk about a lot. Restaurants are supposed to basically close themselves and notify the health district if they don't have hot water, but that doesn't always happen. And then you get to the fun ones like gross unsanitary occurrence or conditions including pest infestation. You get sewage or liquid waste, lack of adequate refrigeration. So this little box, as long as there's something checked somewhere in this box, you're going to know that there's an imminent health hazard. So we take our report, and guess what comes with the report? Obviously, health inspectors take pictures, and we have them send us those too. So you get to go inside the restaurant with the health inspector when you look at all of these pictures, and you get to see some crazy stuff like this, a bunch of raw hanging ducks and pigs, which, not a common sight. And you start to see where they document these dirty conditions. It's a real interesting, that's a floor. It's sideways, so you can't really see it the right way it was intended to be looked at. But they take pictures of literally everything throughout the kitchen, all the different things that constitute violations that go with what they write up in the report. And it's, again, something that is open to the public. It's part of public record. Anybody can request and receive these photos and these reports every week. And, you know, we take the information, put it together, and then we go and talk to the restaurants and say, okay, why did this happen? Why are things so dirty? That's a crazy image, and I know you're probably looking at that going, what am I seeing? That's a pig. There are hooks here that are holding a pig in a kitchen as it dries and cures, and this is a 3-compartment sink. You have different kinds of meats here. They're not supposed to mix like that and be right next to each other. All the different things that the inspectors would look for, dirty, 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 you get to see when you look at their pictures. Again, that one is meant to be the other way, but you're not seeing it the right way. And you know, you can just see just, oh, this was my favorite one from last week. This guy right here, dead cockroach, smashed, stuck to the side of a raw pig. You got to wonder if they were going to notice that before they started making, you know, some kind of pork dish with that. But that's a little inside peek for you into how we do dirty dining. And I'd love to take anybody's questions or anybody's comments. I will let you know that people think that, you know, sometimes we get accused of singling out a certain type of restaurant. You know, why do you have so many Asian restaurants? People ask us that all the time. You know, but what I've just shown you is how we pick them. We don't inspect, we don't select, we just look at a list, we do the math, we pick the one with the highest demerits, and often there is a cultural sanitation thing that plays into it, which may be why you see a lot of Asian restaurants. But again, it's not something that we're picking and choosing. We're just looking at whoever has the highest number of demerits. So I hope that kind of helps people understand how we put this segment together every week. We do always go out and try to ask the restaurants for their perspective. Sometimes they're nice, sometimes they're not so nice. And sometimes customers get all up in our face. We've actually had that happen quite a lot lately where, you know, the customers have something to say. And you should know that if we can't show you that on TV, if that's not part of our segment, you can always see our full interactions from when we walk in to when we walk out on the web. We're going to be putting together digital extra video for you every week where you can get something special that you can only see on the web that enables